Evening, everybody. It is 6:35 on this Thursday evening, the 3rd of August. And the market was particularly sloppy today. It wasn't really much changed. Dow was down 66, NASDAQ down 13, S&P down 11, transports up 14, and the Russell down 5.5. With the internals pretty even, 9 to 5 down on the NYSE, 6 to 5 down on the NASDAQ, but volume moved up again, another almost 10%. Yesterday it was 5.5 billion. Today it's a solid 6 billion. A couple of the big names that we talked about this morning. The ones that were strong continued higher. The ones that were weak continued lower. Um, let's see. Qualcomm, which this morning was down let's see, was about 117, pretty close to there, 118.70, down 10.5 or 8.2%. PayPal, which this morning was 66.90, down 6.30, finished 64.18, down over 9 or 12.5%. Wayfair, which was a strong gainer this morning on their beat, was 81, up 8 and change. It actually got up to 90 and finished the day at 84.67, up 11.78. So, that's quite a continuation move. And Schrodinger, SDGR, this morning was trading at 40, and 40 was down 10, continued down. It's right on the low right now, 38.23, down 12 or 24%. So I know that you're not listening for this stuff. Let's get to the big numbers. Apple was a miss, and guidance was not great. Um, the stock closed 191.17 before the numbers. It was down 141. And tonight it is trading at 186.5 with a low of 185. 186.5 is down $6.08 or about 3.2%. Amazon went exactly the other way with a strong beat, good guidance, good numbers from AWS. It had closed at 128.91, up 70 cents, has gotten as high as 142.97. The last is 141.76. That's up 13.55 or about 10.6%. And one that we didn't mention because it didn't have earnings early, it had them after the close, was DraftKings with a beat, with good numbers for, not great numbers for adding new players, but really good numbers for increase in what their daily active users or monthly active users are betting, came in well ahead. And they've also said that they've cut a lot of the customer acquisition costs. Make a $5 bet and we'll give you $100. Um, so that one, which, not too long ago, the stock was 74. It got down as low as 11.05, which is around where it started the year today. It had closed at 29.99, down a quarter, but the high after the close, another one that's trading right at the high, 34.25, that's up about $4 and change, 13.25%. So very impressive. The chart on the screen, you know, I got to figure out how um, Bill Ackman got my information on the bonds for his big short. I mean, we've been on this now for the better part of 2 months. This is the 10-year. I'm showing you this because the 2 and 10 spread, which was as high as about 112 last week, has come in dramatically. And that, sort of looks good. But here's the problem. The problem is that the twos are hanging right where they were. The tens, on the other hand, are all the way back down to below their low in March of this year. This close is 109, almost 110. Today we closed just over 110. So we are at the highest rate since last November, and that is not a good thing. Ackman, of course, is in the 30 year, which is what we traded. I pointed it out yesterday in a special video for you. It's on the front page of the Daily Note if you want to take a gander at it. Today, let's show you what today looked like. How about that? Pretty extreme to the downside, considering that yesterday was pretty extreme and the day before was pretty extreme. This is a down 1 and 15 sixteenths. So that's almost 2. Yesterday was down about 3/4. Today was down 1 and 30 seconds, 1 and 15 sixteenths, almost 2. This is ugly. And I told you yesterday I was looking at a measured move from the break and looking at around 118, 119. We're almost there. So this is what happens when there are big numbers coming out of the Treasury for new issuance. I told you my term is crowding out. The government takes most, since it's riskless, takes most of those dollars. The other thing that is somewhat disturbing is the volume pattern. Volume was kind of light in here, but as soon as it broke, big, consolidates across, smaller, and then the volume is actually increasing the last couple of days as it's fallen from 123.5 to 120. Not at all a good situation. And frankly, I think it's going to get worse. Of my 13 sectors, most were mixed. Um, the airlines and cruise lines were lower, sharply lower. Biotech was lower. The only one that was up yesterday, which is food supply chain, was mixed today with the ETF lower. Mixed to lower in infrastructure. Work from home was mixed to higher. Retail was absolutely higher. The banks were mixed. The pot stocks were strong across the board, as were the energy names. Defense was down, AI was down, and the metals were mixed with the ETF lower. So there you have it. I'll be back first thing in the morning tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is non-farm payrolls and unemployment numbers. So I'll be back first thing in the morning.